and come over, tell your friends jump in the GS3. I got the chronic by the tree. I love it when you call me Big Papa. Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player. I love it when you call me Big Papa.
Welcome to the show. For people who don't know, what is your name? My name is the Notorious B.I.G., but I also go as Biggie Smalls. My real name is Christopher Wallace. So where did you grow up? I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and my father left when I was 2, which led my mother to get 2 jobs so I could attend a private school, which I ended up transferring out of. And around the age of 12, I started selling drugs, which led me to drop out at the age of 17. Who are some rappers that influenced your love of hip-hop? I was influenced by many rappers. A couple of big ones were Cool G Rap and Rakim. But I started rapping in my neighborhood in my teens, but I released my first mixtape when I was in jail under the name of Biggie Smalls, which caught the attention of many producers, and I signed with Bad Boy Records and ended up having to change my name from Biggie Smalls to the Notorious B.I.G. because of a lawsuit. Did you ever encounter any legal issues when you started your hip-hop career? Since I dropped out of school, I started dealing more drugs, and in 1989 I was arrested for the possession of weapons, which gave me a 5-year probation, and I broke that multiple times, which is why I often talk about drugs and committing crimes in my music. I know you have a lot of history with Tupac, good and bad. Where did you first encounter him? He gave me a bottle of Hennessy at a party, so we started meeting up. But when he was shot at a hotel, I was the first suspect that came to everybody's minds. So that's kind of when our beef started. So unfortunately, now you're deceased. How did that happen? Well, in March of 1997, I was shot when I was leaving a party and died shortly after I made it to the hospital. What's a message that you would want to deliver to the kids across the world? Growing up in a bad neighborhood, then getting albums and records to be certified diamond and platinum, and getting millions of plays really goes to show that no matter your background, the color of your skin, or even the things that you've done in your past, anything is achievable if you put your mind to it. Even though my life was cut off short, I still managed to impact and inspire the lives of millions upon millions of people across the world and continue to impact people and rappers today. It was so nice to have you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for having me.
Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player.
What is your name for anyone who doesn't know?
My original name is Lassane Parrish Crooks.
How did you get the name Tupac? Is that your real name or is it like a pseudonym?
My mother changed my first name to Tupac Amaru, and I later changed my surname to Shakur because it's the same as my sister's father's.
So how was your childhood?
I was born in East Harlem, New York. My family often moved because my mom was raising 2 children while struggling for money. We moved to Baltimore, but shortly after had to move again because it was too crime-ridden. Sadly, my mother started to develop a crack addiction and purchased crack on the same streets I sold it on.
I'm so sorry to hear that. How did you get into hip-hop and rapping?
I met a girl named Lila Steinberg in a park at age 17. Eventually, she booked me for my first gig in 1990, and in 1991, I made my recording debut. I landed a record deal with a label called Interscope Records, and a month later, I debuted my first album, Tupacalypse Now.
I know your music consists of a lot of drugs and gun violence. Did you experience any of that?
I shot 2 off-duty police officers in Atlanta, but there were no charges because they were intoxicated and started the incident. This is known to be the spark of the cause of police brutality towards African Americans. The first time I served jail time, though, was when I assaulted the director of a movie for firing me off a set. I was also shot multiple times in the lobby of a hotel by 2 men who I and many others suspect them to be sent by Biggie Smalls. I then released arguably the greatest diss track of all time against them.
Obviously, there's been many conspiracies about your death. How did you really die?
On September 13th, 1996, I was shot and killed in a drive-by that occurred after I had just left a Mike Tyson versus Bruce Sheldon boxing match in Las Vegas. I passed away 6 days later at a hospital. A man named Orlando Anderson is a prime suspect in the murder, but nothing is 100% certain.
How has your hip-hop career broken barriers?
The odds were against me. People all around me wanted me to fail. Police, my closest friends, and the system. I was set up for failure, but I did not give them the satisfaction. Against all odds, I have a total of 11 platinum albums, and I'm still influencing people today, selling over 36,500,000 units as of May of last year. I just want kids all around the world to know that in this world, you must overcome obstacles if you want to truly succeed in life. If you work hard, anything is possible.
Thank you for coming, Tupac. We really appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you all for coming out tonight and watching.